What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve.
I'm Lindsay.
Today we're going to be reacting to possibly England's most beautiful castle. This place is called Bodiam Castle, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I believe we've seen this castle in passing from above on one of those castle compilation videos.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But I've never actually looked into detail into this castle.
No, but it does sound familiar.
Yeah, looking at the thumbnail, it looks familiar, which is why I think we've seen it on one of those castle compilation videos.
But I hope we can see the inside.
I think we will, because this is going to be a full walking tour.
The creators of the video are a brother and sister team, and they have a YouTube channel called Pinned on Places. And they actually reached out to us to share the video with us and recommend that we checked it out. So that's what we're doing today.
All right, guys, I'm super excited to get in here. Are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right, let's check out Bodiam Castle, possibly England's most beautiful castle. Good music choice.
Already beautiful.
Bodiam
I love the
Castle.
grounds.
What's that right there?
Maybe like the water. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, beautiful
Or a
grounds.
cellar, maybe.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this week's video we explore one of our bucket list castles in the UK, a wonderful and idyllic place that is considered the ideal of what a medieval castle looks like.
I started to say.
Portrayed as the perfect English castle, but there is an air of mystery that still surrounds these ruins. Set in the heart of a historic landscape with stunning views from the top of the towers. On the border of Sussex and Kent, Bodiam has been a brooding example of power for over 700 years and possesses all of the key ingredients you can imagine in a castle. Spiral staircases, battlements, windows for losing arrows, and ruins where knights once roamed, and a surrounding moat with a crumbling and ruined interior that will fire up anybody's imagination.
Wow.
So join us as we explore Bodiam Castle.
That's amazing.
Hold on. I wanted to get a look at this real quick. This is...
What you think of when you think of a castle in England.
Yes, like if this was the first video I ever saw about England, this would be like, okay, yeah, this is what I think of when I think of an old medieval English castle.
And welcome to 1066 country. The castle always has great activities on to get the kids running around and interested, looking at the natural features around the castle and being able to burn off some energy. Dogs are allowed on short leads in the castle grounds and are welcome inside the Castle View Cafe, which has incredible views out across the castle lawn.
Hold on, I want to see this. No dogs beyond this point. So back when this castle was, actually in use, I wonder if they had some sort of drawbridge here.
I'm sure, yeah. Otherwise, what's the point of the moat?
Walking down to the entrance of the castle, you are greeted by a moat and the drawbridge. Just across here are the remains of a fortified outbuilding. The two-storied structure would have been occupied by a guard and gatekeeper. This outbuilding even had a line of defence built in with its own portcullis. A little further on, you'll be able to see the amazing gatehouse. They also inputted murder holes above so that the soldiers could have dropped boiling water, hot sand or rocks onto the enemy. Bodiam was built in 1385 by former knight of Edward III, Sir Edward Dallingridge.
I never knew up until recently that castles, a lot of time on the inside, have these courtyards.
Yeah.
I always assumed they were like just the structures were closed in.
Like a house.
Yeah, like a house. And so I find this really interesting that now I realize a castle in some ways was almost like...
More like a fort.
Yeah, I would say like a mini town or something within it, because you had like kind of everything there.
Yeah.
With his extensive knowledge of battles, he designed the castle with the intentions in mind of being able to defend the turbulent yet picturesque area of East Sussex, possibly from an invasion by the French during the 100 Years' War. Sir Edward was the youngest son within his family, and with traditions this meant he was last in line to inherit anything at all from the estate. However, he married into a family that owned land, and during 1378 he found himself owning the manor of Bodiam. During his knighthood from 1379 to 1388, he managed to pull together enough money to build himself a home, which were the humble beginnings of Bodiam Castle. Originally, Sir Edward decided to build himself a manor home, a place that was very impressive and stately, and even held a weekly market and annual fair inside the grounds. But 2 years later, when people found themselves
Such a small door.
Oh, wow.
due to fleets of ships, Sir Edward was then allowed to take the steps to fortify and strengthen his
Wow.
to protect his estate and his family.
That is so cool.
That is cool. What are we looking at here is my question.
Well, right now we're looking at the ceiling.
No, I know.
But
I know, but
the room, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe like a kitchen
yeah, I'm
or a
curious what that
dining
is.
area.
Do you see how short the door was? Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
Rather than using the place that he had already named home, he decided to build an entirely new building instead, hence Bodiam Castle now. The project was extremely large, with the entire castle being built at the same time. This meant that the design and the style of the castle was exactly the same, which is not something you see in other examples. At the same time of the castle being built, the gardens were also made
What is
and
that?
landscaped, and they featured a variety of waterways around them. Not only was Bodiam built for protection, but it was also made into an inviting home too.
Oh, look at this. You can see where there used to be the walls, and now they're kind of fallen in ruins.
So, yeah, I would have loved to see things like this in the prime.
Oh, no. But you know what? There's something special about kind of half ruined, half, together buildings like this.
Yeah.
The design of the castle is something that is
a giant sandcastle
still to this day.
made of sandstone.
It's a quadrangular design that features chambers on the outer walls, as well as impressive towers on each of the entrance points and the corners. The towers were extremely important as lookouts for any unwanted and potential attacks that would require a quick response. The castle also featured inner courts, which allowed room and space for those who lived and worked within the castle walls. One of the most attractive and striking parts of the castle has to be the moat that surrounds it. It truly is picture perfect. However, whilst this moat looks stunning, it actually acted as a sewerage system for some 30 different toilets that were found throughout the fortress.
Wow.
Yeah.
Taking that in, we can just
Okay.
Wouldn't want to go swimming.
Wouldn't want to go swimming in that.
imagine that it wouldn't smell as great as
Oh. Oh,
I
wow.
spent quite a lot of time taking in the incredible views of the inside of the courtyard. The views here really are majestic, but decided to head up the northwest tower. The spiral staircases just blow your mind in how steep and small that they are. It's incredible.
It's so cool that you can just go in these castles.
I know.
And explore
Yeah.
on your own.
Yeah, really.
And it doesn't look busy at all. Which
No,
is
I didn't see
weird.
anybody else
No.
there.
Incredible to be able to climb the original stairs today, and we counted them as we went
That
up.
looks steep.
Mm-hmm.
The northwest tower is 36 steps up. We made our way up to the battlements,
Man.
which were the ideal place for the soldiers to roam and keep an eye and patrol the area. The rooms up the northwest tower were perfect for archers to have a greater vantage.
Wow.
There were 3 types of medieval archers: the bowman, the longbowman, and the crossbowman. A good bowman would be able to hit their mark from around 300 metres away,
Oh,
be
wow.
able to fire 12 arrows per
Oh
minute.
my goodness.
The extensive research done around Bodiam isn't so sure exactly what type of archer would have protected this castle, but they did actually manage to find arrowheads in
That's
the moat that
beautiful.
may have suggested
Wow.
that a longbowman may have been here. Just across the battlements, we cautiously entered into a room that is now home to one of the most important bat roosts in the UK. Some areas of the castle may be closed at times of the year when the bats are most active, such as when the bat pups are born and are learning to fly. Interestingly, there are 3 types of bat roost here. We didn't happen to see any bats on our visit, but there is a presence of them around with an odd smell.
Wow.
Bodiam Castle was passed down through the Dallingridge family until the line died out and there was nobody else from the family alive to live there. This was when it changed hands via marriage to
narrow.
the Luckner family. Whilst it was taken away from them during the War of Roses, 2 years later it was returned to the family, who owned the castle right up until the 16th century.
Can you imagine carrying firewood?
Oh
all the
man,
way
up those steep little steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the start of the English Civil War in 1641, the castle was owned by Lord Thanet, a descendant of the Luckner family. He was a keen supporter of the cause of
Look at
the
the door.
Royalists, and he took the decision to sell the castle in order to pay for fines that were brought against him by the Parliament. The castle was brought and dismantled, being left in ruin until it was purchased much later in 1829 by John Fuller. John Fuller took on the project to restore the castle partially until it was sold on to George Cubitt and then on to Lord Curzon, both of which decided to further the restoration work and try to create a testament to the former glory of this absolutely fascinating building. The castle then became a Grade 1 listed building and has been owned by the National Trust since 1925. It was donated to them by Lord Curzon on his deathbed, with the decision taken to open up the ruins to the public. Afterwards, we ventured to the servants' hall and quarters. The whole of this side of the castle was more or less just used for the servants. At the time, the castle was large enough to house up to 80 servants at a time.
Wow.
Most of them being men, with the exception of the brewers, washerwomen, and the ladies' servants. Inside the quarters and the hall, the servants would be expected to sleep on the floor with a wooden pallet,
Oh my
with straw
goodness.
as their bedding and pillow. The huge fireplaces that were adjacent would have kicked out enough fire that would have heated the walls and kept the room somewhat warm.
So I'm looking at this grass and I'm wondering, did they have animals within here in the courtyard, like goats or
I
something,
don't know.
trimming the grass? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Something I would really like to see is the toilet system. I know some people are like, why? It's just, I don't know. It's just something fascinating to me how that worked. And did it just, everything just drop into the moat? You know,
Ew.
30, I think she said 30 toilets in this place, I believe, which is
That's a
pretty incredible.
ton.
Yeah, that is. How many people were here? I know she said up to 80 servants, but then you had
plus, I don't know, the family.
100 people.
That's crazy.
30 toilets is a lot for even 100 people. I don't know.
For them. The worst job in the castle belonged to the gong scourer, the toilet cleaner to us in the 21st century. But this job was considered one of the worst out there in the Middle Ages, and usually was put to a small child who would clean the chutes that connected the toilets to the moat.
Oh, wow.
Naturally,
Gross.
leading from the servants' hall, you enter inside the incredible kitchen. This
That's
room
the
is very
kitchen?
impressive in its own right. The room
Is that the
has two
hearth?
humongous fireplaces
Yeah.
that would have been working all day, every day. There is also a small bread oven here, but you can only imagine the feasts that were cooked and prepared in this
Wow, I bet.
From the kitchen, a passage
Oh, that's beautiful.
to the Great Hall, with two very
Look at the
important
windows.
storage rooms. One for the gallons of beer and wine, and the other for all of the herbs and dried goods to feed many. The master cook in this kitchen would have been considered a very important person. He would oversee several of the kitchen workers who were roasting meats inside the fireplace and boiling soups and sauces inside large cauldrons. They would have the weight of responsibility on their shoulders.
Oh,
Making sure
wow.
that they made grand and impeccable dishes that would impress the lord and lady and of course show off his skills to their guests. Off of the kitchen is also a room for the well. In this video it's Halloween themed and it really does make quite the atmosphere. We loved the spooky and smoky cauldron feel to it. But it is actually the castle's main water supply.
That is incredible.
Water wouldn't have been good enough for drinking, but it would have been suitable to be used in the kitchens. The well is around 10 feet deep and fed by natural springs and moat water. Interestingly,
Wait.
the top of this tower was
Wait, okay, I get the natural springs, but it was fed by moat water. Knowing what we know about the moat water.
She said it wouldn't be suitable for
No.
drinking, but for cooking.
No, I get it, but still.
Ew.
I get the natural spring water, but the moat water, even for cooking, I don't know. Am I gonna go pour water out of the toilet to go boil some spaghetti? Probably not. But I mean, I get it's a different time, right? But it's just that's very interesting to me. How water, toilets, plumbing systems. I don't know what it is about that, guys. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you have any recommendations for that type of thing from the medieval times or before, or even the Victorian times. I just like the plumbing, water, toilets, that type of stuff.
Are you a sewer rat?
Maybe, but it's just interesting to me. That's beautiful, man.
It creeps me out a little.
I mean, I get it. But what a beautiful room, man. You see the moss growing up the top up there?
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. Man, I can imagine when that's closed in.
I was going to say, was this enclosed?
I mean, look at it. I don't know how enclosed it was or whatever, but I mean, look at it. Obviously, there was so much more to this with the walls and whatnot. I love the shapes of these windows.
Me too.
I can imagine putting some stained glass in those windows.
And the doorways.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Beautiful. The doorways seem fairly short.
They do.
At least from the camera angle.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just...
From here we had a brief look around the Great Hall, off of the kitchen which you can see through the windows. Sir Edward and his family would have dined and conducted their important matters of business here. It would have also been a place where he would have been entertained by conjurers, acrobats and jugglers, as well as musicians. On one side of the three archways there is a metal strip that may have well been evidence of a minstrel's gallery, which in the 14th century minstrels were extremely popular during this time, and they would tell stories in song, such as the legend of King Arthur. The Great Hall here at Bodiam would have only really been used for feasts, with others for special occasions. Otherwise, the owners would retreat back to their chambers to eat.
Oh, dude. Yeah, beautiful, man.
It really is.
Wow. So if someone wanted to come up here, they got to jump into some sewer water, basically. And they're going to know ahead of time.
Yeah.
This was sewer water. And then depending on how the drawbridge was, depending on if it was just flat, they wouldn't have anywhere to stand. So they come there and they swim in and there's nothing to stand on. So they're just kind of like, they got to turn back around, I guess.
I don't know.
Which is the beauty of it. Looking at this, I would feel very safe if I was hiding out in a
Honestly,
situation
you
like
feel
that.
like you're in your own little world.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Even though you're not really that far from...
No, but the moat just changes everything about it.
It's your own little
You got your men up there with their bow and arrows, and you got this moat that's protecting you. Pull up your drawbridge. I mean, you feel very secure in a situation like this, I would think. It's pretty incredible when you think about how old this place is.
Another way into the
I would be
castle was
way
through the
too
postern
clumsy
tower.
to
It was
live someplace like
entrance for
this.
the tradespeople, and may have also been used for delivering goods in and out via a drawbridge. There is also speculation that it would have been used as a private entrance for the Lord and Lady, hence the shields above the door, which are very much worth looking out for. Climbing up to the top of the tower is 56 steps for some uneven...
Can you imagine falling down those? You'd be dead.
...staircases, but believe us, it's completely worth it for the views that you'll...
Oh my goodness. That's where I want my
Reaching
bedroom.
the top, you can enter inside a few different sets
Yes.
of rooms, filled with windows with fantastic viewpoints, a guardrobe for privacy. These rooms were more than likely filled with important guests that came to visit. Once you hit the top of the tower, it's incredible to be able to see across and have a fantastic view over the castle's courtyard. It really is something special. Some of the really interesting facts that I learnt from visiting here is that the castle is home to 33 different fireplaces built into the walls here at Bodiam.
33!
Most are on the side where the lord and lady would have slept, and not on the side where the servants would sleep. There is also an abundance of medieval graffiti that is scarred into the walls, especially around the gatehouse and the tower rooms.
Whoa. What are these? Is this just
some kind of vent?
is that just where water, so it doesn't flood up there if there's a lot of rain and it goes back into the moat, maybe drains into the moat?
Oh no.
Or would you somehow collect rainwater and use this for cooking and whatnot as well?
I don't know.
Look at the view, man. Wow.
Yeah, I definitely have an urge to shoot a bow and arrow.
Look how protected you would feel, though.
Yeah.
Can you imagine so many centuries ago, someone's looking down at that, watching everybody go about their business?
Yeah.
People cooking, people taking care of animals.
Back then,
Yeah.
Oh, there's more people. Oh my gosh, that is a death trap.
Oh, wow.
Pretty.
Is that original?
It looks like it.
I mean, I'm thinking it is, which is pretty impressive when you consider 1300s.
Most people get the feeling on the staircases that they are being watched or followed, giving them uneasy experiences.
This sounds like a great place to go near Halloween.
It would be really creepy to be there alone at night.
Right when it's getting dark. Yes. I would love it.
Look how short that is.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Like, it's so tiny.
Why?
Whilst we visited Bodiam, the National Trust had one of their fantastic events on, giving children a chance to ignite some mystery and magic into their visit to the castle. It's worth having a look on their website if you are planning to come and enjoy your time here, as you might be interested in the various events that they hold throughout the year. It really is worthy of being one of the top castles in our pinned list. For me, Elisa, I have to say this has always been a bucket list castle of mine, and I think that anybody thinking of visiting should go for it and enjoy a wonderful day of exploring to get those Instagram worthy shots.
That's incredible.
It really is.
Okay, so the other side is the bridge. But I'm looking at this, like, if you have a drawbridge here, you bring it up, there's like really nothing you can climb or do there. You're stuck.
Unless you have like some kind of thing you could throw to hook in the window and climb.
Yeah, I'm wondering how deep this moat is.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I want to shoot a bow and arrow off that thing.
Did you notice this one right here versus the others?
Oh, you think that's the well one?
Yeah, it is. Look at that. Look in there.
There's the well.
That really is beautiful.
Yeah. From above, it looks so skinny. Like there's
I noticed that. But remember, a lot of this
that
would have been
covered. Yeah,
covered probably.
True.
Or the walls would have been
built up more.
Built up, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Beautiful, beautiful castle, guys.
Yeah.
Would you also consider this to be one of England's most beautiful castles?
I find it really interesting. Like, look how close this neighborhood is.
Yeah, no. No. I imagine a lot of people probably take walks on the grounds here on a regular basis because if they have, the National Trust membership, it's free, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which is something we haven't looked into yet. We haven't looked into the National Trust. Now, we understand the basics of what that is. It's kind of like places like this that are taken care of by this National Trust. It makes sense, but we really don't know what all the places that are within the National Trust, and really don't know really much about it. But yeah, guys, shout out to Pinned On Places if you're interested in checking out their channel.
This was a great video.
The link will be in the description. So if you're interested in this type of content, exploring different places throughout the UK, please go have a look at their channel. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for us today, guys. You got anything you want to say before we go?
Thanks for watching.
All right. Also, guys, please feel free to leave in the comments what other places we should check out. Old castles, old abbeys, you know, beautiful buildings with grand architecture. Love buildings in general. Anyways, guys, enough rambling for us. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow us on our journey to discover anything and everything about the UK and Ireland. Until next time, guys, peace.
Bye.